Oh boy, welcome everyone to another video on the channel, and an exclusive actually today. We're looking at the brand new DC design F-15 Eagle, which will be released by Just Flight within the next week or so. Now, just to say, the version I have is actually a sort of early development model, and I've been watching quite closely the development of this bird, and I can say straight away that they've had to overcome some pretty hefty challenges to bring something of this might, shall I say, into Microsoft Flight Simulator, because at the moment this sim has a number of limitations, and you know, including sort of the difficulty in the flight modelling. So bear in mind that this is a first preview look, and this is unfinished at the moment. And the biggest thing you'll notice is the sounds. Actually, it's just the default business jet sounds in this particular video. They're not quite done yet, and the only reason why is because they're perfectionists. They could have just put them in, but there's just a few little tweaks that they need to get right. Honestly, I've been talking with Scott from Just Flight over a number of weeks now, and he's been sending me the latest build, and each time I fly this it gets better and better. They could have released this a long time ago actually, but I think they really are trying to provide the best possible experience you can get in this sim right now. So what is the F-15? Well, I'm sure you know, but if you don't, it's actually a highly manoeuvrable twin-engined American tactical fighter aircraft, and we are at Lakenheath, which is in the UK, and that's one of, I think, two bases that are in I think it's Norfolk, not too far away from me actually, which has a squadron of these F-15 Eagles. And in fact, I work on a Monday and Tuesday at a place quite close by, and I often see them practicing their dogfighting manoeuvres high up in the sky. And on a clear day, there's nothing better than to just sit there eating your lunch and watching your own personal display. Now, I'd just like to point out something before we go for our maiden flight in the HP Reverb G2, by the way, and that is, some people think, is there any point in producing such a high quality fighter aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator when you've got the likes of DCS? Well, actually, yes, absolutely, and I think you're missing out, to be honest, because with the likes of this next generation graphics engine and it's just the atmosphere, I guess, of this sim and the VR implementation, it is absolutely amazing. We're going to take this up through the Mac loop on the final sort of release version of this, and let me tell you, I've already tried that with this early release build, and it is absolutely incredible. There's every bit a reason for a fighter aircraft like this to exist in a civilian sim. You can recreate air shows. I've done that loads of times in various different aircraft throughout the years in X-Plane and Prepared, and this is one aircraft I can tell you now is great fun. The emphasis is on fun, really, you know, to enjoy many hours in this particular bird. Now, this isn't, don't get me wrong, this is not a study level aircraft, and in fact, you know, it really isn't designed to be an aircraft that you have to spend hours and hours reading manuals. But having said that, it is equipped with custom avionics and custom coded animations, including the pilot at the back as well, which really give you a sense of being in your own F-15 Eagle. So I guess with that being said, I just wanted to point that out, okay, that we're going to go for our maiden flight. Remember, the sounds are not, they're absolutely nowhere near the finished product, but I just had to give you a bit of a first look, and I've got to say thank you so much to Scott from Just Flight for enabling me to show this on the channel. Right, so here we are in the cockpit. There's actually a number of different cockpit layouts. So we're in the fancy modern version, and we're now going to jump into the HP Reverb G2. I cannot wait. And in 30 frame rate locked motion projection mode, we're going to fly around and do a practice display here at Lakenheath. So I'll see you in a moment. Welcome back. We are now in virtual reality inside the HP Reverb G2, and first of all I've got to say the HUD display, they've done a stellar job of that, especially considering it's actually not supposed to be possible inside this sim right now, but they've done it and they've cracked it. It looks really nice. This is the other variant of the cockpit layout. This is more sort of old school with analog gauges and a few fancy little panels. I actually prefer this one myself personally. But that's probably because I'm old school as well. But yeah, sat here, it feels incredible. I've got to say, some of the resolution of the textures is a little bit low. That's probably because obviously the HP Reverb is so clear, you can see absolutely everything. And maybe it's also probably because it's an early release build as well. And talking of that, remember, the sounds of this thing are not the final versions. This is just placeholder sounds. With that being said, I think it's time to get airborne and see how she feels in the air. Here we go. Gear coming up. Let's go straight into the vertical. Look at that vapour there. Oh, wow. And the afterburner effects. Very nice indeed. What a screenshot that is. Look at that. Back. Oh, in fact, no, we're not going to make that. So we'll roll out of that loop there. Now, this is where this sim excels. The fact that I am flying in this incredible environment that Microsoft Flight Simulator brings, but in a fighter jet, is a real novel experience, and this is something you need to experience as ATC is yelling at me. I don't really care because I'm having too much fun. Look at this! Oh my god! The clouds and this aircraft together in VR is friggin' awesome. It really is. I tell you what, in this bubble canopy, looking at all these clouds, this is what it's all about. You can't get this in DCS, I tell you that. And it's putting a huge grin on my face right now. Oh my god, let's have another look outside here. This is just incredible as we punch through these clouds. This is what this aircraft is all about. Fun. And you can do all sorts of shenanigans in this aircraft. You could probably intercept airliners and just play around with the clouds like we are now. Do you know, as I've been using the Quest 2 and Rift S recently, it's so good to be back in the Reverb G2. There's no other headset out there that can compete with this incredible display that I can see here. And the performance we're getting, we're locked at the moment at 30 frames per second. A lot of that actually is down to this aircraft. It's really good on performance. And oh, can you see that? As it's reflecting off those mirrors, the sun there. And that almost blinded me there. I'm not quite sure how it looked like on the mirror image, which by the way, might look a bit stuttery. But I can assure you, as always, it's nice and smooth in the headset itself. It's just VR is quite a challenge to record in this sim at the moment. But rest assured, just, you know, when I say that I'm having the best fun that I could possibly have with clothes on, just believe me. Is this even legal? Literally, I just cannot believe this. And that HUD display, it's really nice and crisp with the Reverb G2. Just literally going cloud hunting here, just surfing these clouds. This is the best way to explore this new world that we have in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I tell you that now. I cannot wait to hear the sounds. They've actually held off. They were kind of about done, but then they wanted to get them better. And you know, I've absolutely got huge respect for taking their time to get it right. As I say, this is no study level fighter aircraft, but it's one that you can have a lot of fun with and do all sorts of missions and air shows and displays, and even just using it as a real fast touring machine and just cloud surfing like this. This is an incredible experience. Love it. And there's Lakenheath down there. Tell you what, we'll put the air brake out. We're at 15,000 feet right now. Air brake's coming out. quite a formidable looking bird. I love the look of the F-15. And I think, considering the limitations, that's the key point here, the limitations of Microsoft Flight Simulator right now, it's a credit to DC Designs and Just Flight for being very ambitious and trying out something very new for this sim. But I've got to say, the overall effect, especially with those visuals and this canopy in VR, is jaw-dropping. Right, tell you what we'll do, we'll come back in. I like as well how the flight model, the manoeuvring capability to get the real sort of tight turns, you know, you need to be about sort of 350 to 450 knots. But if you're too fast, then you'll feel the weight on the airframe and that vapor as well. And all of that is modelled really well there. And if I had the two-seater variant, I'd be able to see my my pilot friend in the back moving around. Here we go. Coming in for a low pass. Afterburner on. Look at that afterburner. In VR, that looks really convincing indeed. Straight up here. We're going to get right up now, vertical, through this little cloud layer. That looks spectacular. Oh my word. We are now vertical, and that is... oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. Oh my goodness me. I repeat, is this even legal? 25,000 feet. Nice reflections there on the canopy. Oh God. We're now at airliner altitude within a space of about a minute. Spectacular. All the shakes and rattles. Very nice. Right, anyway, we're going to air brake out and we're going to head back down to terra firma and through this cloud layer here. I cannot wait to recreate Fairford Air Show and the old RAF Waddington Air Shows. I'm literally going to do my own season, my own F-15 Eagle display season around the UK this year. That's without a doubt. And the fact that this is making me grin so much means it's worth every penny, in my opinion. Look at that, the vapour there. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, are you interested in this bird for Microsoft Flight Simulator? And once we get the full release version, I'll revisit this aircraft and we'll go for a spin around the mount loop. How's that? But for now, I think that'll do. I'm going to fly off into the sunset. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye for now. Look at that review. Wowzers.